In the aftermath of World War I, the city of Hanover, Germany, was gripped by fear as a series of gruesome murders came to light. Fritz Haarmann, later known as the Butcher of Hanover, was arrested in 1924 after a chilling trail of evidence revealed his role in the deaths of at least 24 young men and boys. His crimes shocked the nation and exposed the dark underbelly of a society struggling to recover from the devastation of war. This narrative delves into the arrest of Fritz Haarmann, the investigation that led to his capture, and the impact of his heinous crimes on Germany and the world.
Fritz Haarmann was born on October 25, 1879 in Hanover, Germany. From a young age, Haarmann exhibited troubling behavior, including violent tendencies and criminal activities. His early life was marked by instability and frequent conflicts with the law. He was repeatedly arrested for theft, fraud, and sexual offenses, but his charm and ability to manipulate often led to lenient sentences. After serving in the military during World War I, Haarmann returned to Hanover, where he became a familiar figure in the city's underworld. He worked as a police informant, which allowed him to avoid suspicion despite his continued involvement in criminal activities. It was during this time that Haarmann began his murderous spree, preying on vulnerable young men and boys who had come to Hanover in search of work or adventure.
The post-war years in Germany were a time of great social and economic turmoil. The Treaty of Versailles had left the country in a state of economic hardship and political instability, and many young men were left adrift, unemployed, and homeless. These conditions made it easier for predators like Haarmann to find and exploit victims. Haarmann would lure his victims to his apartment with promises of food, shelter, or work. Once there, he would sexually assault them before brutally murdering them, often by biting through their throats. Haarmann then dismembered the bodies, disposing of the remains in the nearby River Lane or selling parts of the bodies as black market meat. His gruesome methods earned him the nickname the Butcher of Hanover. For years, Haarmann operated with impunity, largely due to his connections with the police as an informant. His ability to evade capture was also aided by the chaotic post-war environment, where missing persons were common and law enforcement resources were stretched thin.
The breakthrough in the case came in May 1924, when the body parts of a young man were discovered in the River Lane. Public concern over the growing number of missing persons in Hanover reached a fever pitch, and the police were under increasing pressure to solve the mystery. Suspicion eventually fell on Haarmann after a young man named Karl escaped from his apartment and reported a violent assault. Despite Haarmann's reputation as a police informant, investigators began to scrutinize his activities more closely. On June 22, 1924, the police searched Haarmann's apartment and found bloodstains on the walls, floors, and bedding, as well as clothing and personal items belonging to several missing boys. Under interrogation, Haarmann initially denied any wrongdoing, but he eventually confessed to the murders. Over the course of several days, he provided chilling details about how he lured, killed, and dismembered his victims. Haarmann claimed that he had killed at least 24 young men between 1918 and 1924, though some estimates suggest the true number may have been higher.
Fritz Haarmann was charged with multiple counts of murder and went to trial in December 1924. The trial attracted widespread media attention, and Haarmann's gruesome crimes and macabre confessions shocked the nation. He was found guilty of 24 murders and sentenced to death. On April 15, 1925, Haarmann was executed by guillotine in Hanover. His arrest and trial left a deep scar on German society, revealing the vulnerabilities of a nation struggling to rebuild in the aftermath of war. The case also exposed flaws in the police system, particularly the dangers of relying on criminal informants like Haarmann. The legacy of Fritz Haarmann's crimes extended beyond Germany. His case influenced later studies of serial killers and criminal psychology, as investigators sought to understand the mind of a man capable of such horrific acts. The Butcher of Hanover remains one of history's most notorious serial killers, a reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of society.
The arrest of Fritz Haarmann, the Butcher of Hanover, brought an end to one of the most horrifying killing sprees in history. His capture and trial revealed the depths of human depravity and the devastating impact of unchecked violence. As we reflect on Haarmann's crimes, we are reminded of the importance of vigilance, justice, and the need to protect the most vulnerable members of society. The story of Fritz Haarmann serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of societal breakdown and the dangers of ignoring the warning signs of evil.